Today, we are pleased to welcome an expert in clinical nutrition to our podcast. With a strong commitment to evidence-based practice, she has positively impacted the health of over 1,000 individuals, managing conditions such as diabetes, PCOS, thyroid disorders, obesity, and cardiovascular conditions. In addition to being a clinical nutritionist, she is the author of two insightful books, Mastering Weight Loss and Healthy Hustle, Meal Planning for Professionals on the Go. Her approach to wellness is collaborative, working closely with the team of doctors in Pune to provide holistic care that goes beyond just nutrition. You may also know her from her popular Instagram page, NutrieatwithVrushali, where she shares valuable information on thyroid health. She is now expanding her work with a new series focused on gut health and growing community where she shares practical tips and personal insights. Please join me in welcoming a nutrition expert, a mother, a hustler, mentor, and author, Vrushali Dhanore. Vrushali, thank you so much. Friday must be your clinic day?
In the evening actually.
Evenings, okay,
yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking out time and coming to our studio. You know, HealthCommune, we are trying to create health education on very, very important topics. Fortunately, like at least regarding thyroid, there is lots of awareness because of social media, but lots of unaware things are still there.
Yes.
And when I was discussing with you, about what all we should be covering, I felt that probably your approach towards looking at any clinical condition, which is helped with the nutrition, but looking at every micro elements that are required to take care of that thing, that's the best part about when I was discussing with you. So I was super excited. Chalo, theek hai, let me understand hypothyroidism in a very different perspective, which I haven't studied. Okay, so thank you so much for taking out time today to come over here. But before we start everything, I want to understand your journey, like what you have done so far, what you have studied, what you do now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smitha, for inviting me here, and a really amazing platform this is to share all my journey.
Thank you.
So let me start with my career. I am a medical student. I did my B Pharmacy, after that post-graduation in management.
Okay.
And I travel after that. Okay. I was working in Bangalore as a market research analyst. And after that, I have joined, a few other firms in Bangalore.
Okay.
And due to
when was that? Like Bangalore, when you were there?
I used to stay in Sarjapur Road. So
which year?
That was in 2012.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
I was there exactly during
and
the same
I have
time
worked
in
for
Marathon.
markets and markets.
Oh, really? Okay.
And a few research firm. So I was working as an analyst.
Okay.
Yes, I used to get the different medical data. We used to put it in one research paper.
Correct.
As you also
Yes,
are from the same background.
Yes.
So you can relate with me.
Yeah.
So we used to make different research based papers, and I used to correlate the data and make the analysis out of it.
Okay.
So that was quite interesting job. After that, my husband got an opportunity to travel in Mexico. Then we moved to Mexico City. That was another 4 years we were there.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was a career gap over there. But I would say, because I'm a learner, so I never stopped there as well. So I started feeling so much, curiosity about the food, because the diversity and the culture in Mexico was something which is really fascinating to me. Then even I was a bit overweight by then.
Okay.
And because my son was 4-year-old post-surgery, I was feeling sluggish and tired and non-energetic throughout the day. Then I started I have to work on my health first. Then I start exploring about the nutrition, about the cultural aspect of the Mexico also. And I have seen both the sides of the Mexico. Few individuals were really fit. Okay. They were like fitness freaks, what we call it, right? And a few individuals are sluggish and, obesity, correct, what we are talking about the Western culture.
Correct,
but we are just focusing on the bad side of the Western culture. We are not focusing how many individuals are actually doing really great with their health.
Correct.
Okay, as compared to India. Okay, here we are, most of the individuals, they are actually culturally eating. That's why I say our culture is really rich, and we are blessed to have this culture, because this small things, just like having ghar ka khana, that concept is not there in abroad. So those people, they actually don't have that experience with them. Okay, but here we are as culturally rich, we don't even know how much we are blessed. Okay, there people have to do extra efforts to become fit. Here we don't have to. Even if we are doing every single day yoga, it is more than enough for us. For there, they have to study nutrition. They are taking help of the nutrition experts, and then they are becoming fit. So it's a huge number of people who are actually following fitness and nutrition over there. Then I got
Mexico mein, huh?
Mexico. Okay, then I got really fascinated by their cultural values also. Their meals portions are quite smaller.
Okay.
Okay, because they eat tacos just like our rotis, right? And they are using a lot of portions of healthy protein.
Okay.
It could be meat, it could be lean sources of protein. Even they are using lots of rajma recipes.
Beans,
beans. So from the breakfast till dinner, they have different recipes of beans. Okay, red bean, kidney beans. So I found out why their body is so strong. If you look at any Mexican women or men, their body is really torn up. And whenever I travel back to India, I was feeling why everyone is looking so different. You can relate this, right?
Correct.
When you're coming back from any travel, you'll feel the difference here. And I was feeling why our skin is not like their skin. So I found out something is there, which is making their skin so glowy and so tight and like very energetic they used to look. Then I found out somewhere it is lying in their plate. Okay. So then I got to know that they are using really good sources of protein in their diet. Even if I talk about their nutritional values, they're quite balanced. So from there I got to know more and more about the nutrition. Then I decided to go further and get certified in the different certification in clinical nutrition. And from there my journey started.
Oh, beautiful.
Then we got a break. We came back to India. Then another country we moved in, that is Kenya. So I was in Nairobi for another 3.5 years. There also cultural values are different. So this is how this travel made me looked at the nutrition in a different way. And I found out every individual is having their cultural values. And I'm not someone who is just studied the nutrition in a scientific way. I'm someone who is following holistic way of health. So in that, culture is the first thing which made me think again and again, how come these experiences are passed from one generation to another. And these food habits are has a very powerful techniques to keep you healthier. Okay, and those food habits are around your culture, around your environment, around your genetics, around the way you are. Okay, so similar, if I looked into Indian culture, Kenyan culture, which is an African culture, is different. Mexican culture is different. US is different. So every person, every individual is eating around their own cultures. And which is a very beautiful thing, I feel. So I have an experience of science plus cultural values. And it's the same thing I implement with my patients and clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since when, so after coming back from Kenya, after that you started practicing your nutrition and everything. So
it's been 3 years. I'm here in Pune. And I'm working with one of the academy, Optimum Wellness Academy. It's a Kolkata-based academy and it's a science-driven, evidence-based nutrition they are teaching. I'm working with them as a faculty member. I'm teaching clinical nutrition over there. And similarly, I have my practice over here in Kharadi, where I deal with the different types of problems, PCOD, PCOS, thyroid, diabetes, obesity, and all other, kids nutrition, prenatal, postnatal, all other aspects of the disorders and diseases I'm working with. So the journey is non-ending from here, I feel. Every single day I'm learning something new from different, experiences, even from patients I'm learning. Okay, because each and every individual is different. Their problems are different. Their eating habits are different. Right? So every single day is learning for me.
Yeah. One of my neighbor actually referred your name.
Yes.
She's your patient, and she's like, so in my society, I have sent, invite to everyone that, okay, I've sent the post. I said that if you know anyone who's into clinical practice, a doctor, if you are living with any medical condition, connect with me. I have a studio right walkable from the place I'm staying. And then she called me and she said, I must talk to you. I truly believe that no matter what, we are truly who we are, right? So I am Pakka Marathi. That too, I'm from Vidarbha. So I follow healthy lifestyle, diet. I am a person who can eat the same food every day, salad, chicken, everything. But once in a week, I need something like kaitri tikhat hoye. So
absolutely.
Because we Vidarbha people are we like lovely spicy food. And I'm like, no, I crave for that food. And no matter what, of course, I have to train myself to eat healthy diet. I have to tell myself that is good for me. But once in a week, I need my Marathi Vidarbha jeevan.
I would like to add something just came into my mind. Wherever we go, any part of the world, okay, whatever food scarcity is there for Indian food, especially because in Mexico it is not very developed like US. Okay, very few shops, Indian shops where you are getting Indian grocery, and I lived in that kind of situation where even to get the wheat flour is like a struggle for us.
So now you are doing a clinical practice. You are teaching. You are doing consultation. You teach online. You do consultation. You take care of your son. And here you are. And you also create content for Instagram. So more and more people will get benefited with the knowledge that you have. How do you manage all these things?
So actually, it is tough, okay? Especially, I feel whenever I'm not giving time for my son, that's a big guilt, okay? Otherwise, rest of the things I'll just manage, okay? But my first priority is to give time to my son. Whenever it is not happening, it makes me sad. Rest of the things is just like, I make it as a priority, and then on the basis of priorities, I'll finish the task.
Manage.
Okay.
Perfect. So let's now start something that I specifically asked you to come to my studio, and then we'll discuss is thyroid conditions. Reason is I live with hypothyroidism, but I know that it's pretty common. Apart from that, it affects quite a many hormonal conditions that are. So everything is linked with your hypothyroid, your thyroid, your hypothalamus, and all the axis that we have. So let's talk about thyroid conditions. So what are the clinical conditions that you deal with? What kind of a patients that you are looking at when it comes to thyroid conditions? So what are medical conditions that you are looking at? Welcome to HealthCommune, where we are shaping a healthier world by bridging the knowledge gap between people, doctors, and the healthcare industry, empowering better health for all.
So we are getting most of the patients for hypothyroidism.
Correct.
Okay. Hyperthyroidism is also there, but it is quite rare as compared to hypothyroidism. Mostly ladies are getting affected. Men are also there, and children are also there. Okay. So we are getting patients with already diagnosed cases.
Correct.
And in few cases, after looking at their symptoms, we are telling to get tested for the thyroid. And if the TSH are high, okay, or sometimes it is subclinical hypothyroidism. In that phase also, they are getting to know that, okay, my TSH levels are not working well. So they have to start with the medication. Sometimes lifestyle changes are required. So that way we are dealing with the patients.
Okay.
Once we got to know that the person is already diagnosed from last few years, so they have their history, they are coming with their own symptoms, and they want a better lifestyle with the current condition. So nobody is asking me to, how I can reverse my condition. First of all, they are telling, please tell me how I can take care of my condition. That is very different aspect when we are looking at the thyroid condition, what I feel.
So you take care of hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism,
yes, absolutely.
Hashimoto's.
Even Hashimoto's, even Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disease.
Correct.
So nutrition can take care of the each and every aspect of the thyroid disorders.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And typically how they are reaching out to you? Are the doctors are referring patients, or they discover, or they come through the, they see you on Instagram? Or so there are two kinds of people, those who are reaching out to you. One, those who are already having hypothyroidism, or those who have symptoms and then you ask them to go and get their blood test done. So how they are reaching out to you? Doctors are referring, or do they walk in on their own?
Actually, I'm working with doctors only. We have a team and he's from the medical background. So he's in MD medicine, gynecologist. So we are a team. Okay, so from there I'm getting like patients with the hypothyroidism, pregnancy in hypothyroidism, those kind of patients I'm dealing with. Even the general patients with the diabetes and thyroid and obesity and BP and lots of other complications. So I'm getting referrals from the doctors. Online also, yes, when we create a lot of awareness in the society, the women, they are facing the same issues. They are asking me questions that, ma'am, this is what I'm feeling. What should I do for this? I said, first get it tested. Okay. Once the tests are clear, or maybe there is a subclinical case, which is your TSH levels are higher, but T3, T4 is correct. Okay. That is a subclinical case. So I'm telling them to, now you have to make changes in the lifestyle as well as diet. So that way we are getting. So awareness is very important. Doctors are creating that awareness for us, and similarly the social media. If you are doing it in a correct way.
Correct. And what are the typical symptoms? Whatever the patients that they reach out to you, what are their common symptoms with hypothyroidism? Because whatever it's written in textbook, every individual is different. So what's the common symptoms that our patients are representing with?
So first of all, their first complaint is lack of energy. Constant fatigue, like even they sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours. They are telling in the morning we don't feel like waking up. That much of energy lacking they are feeling throughout the day without any reason. Okay. Second thing is overweight, unexplained weight gain. It leads to the hypothyroidism because there is no much changes, because they are telling us, my diet and lifestyle has not changed. I have been eating the same thing, but from last 1 or 2 years I have put on 5 to 10 kgs, which is a very red flag for them. And they are also experiencing where they feel cold when others are normal. Others are feeling comfortable. They are always feeling cold. In hot summer also they are coming with a over jacket or sweaters. I have seen those patients in my clinic. Just few weeks back, I was feeling extremely hot. I put on AC and the patient came with a sweaters. I was like, I know she is hypothyroidic, and that's how extreme it is. It is a real thing. Okay, so they are feeling cold. Then their metabolism is gone down because it's a metabolic problem. Your thyroid gland regulates metabolism. Okay, what is metabolism? Metabolism is nothing but how much calories you are spending throughout the day. It is being decided by your thyroid. When you are eating food and your body is not spending calories out of it, then it is being stored in the form of fat. And you are slowly gaining weight. You don't even realize what is going wrong with your body. That is how the hypothyroidic patients are gaining weight. Despite knowing that they are eating healthy, despite knowing that they are doing walks and exercises, it is not helping them. Okay. Next, common symptoms in women especially, we have seen that brain fog, which is very common. Mostly, initially they don't even understand what is going wrong. They feel maybe I'm not eating well. It is mistaken for many other health conditions. So brain fog, mood swings is also very common. So this is how the hypothyroidism looks like, especially in women. They also get menstrual disturbances. Their periods are not normal. and they feel foggy, irritated most of the time. Depression kind of symptoms.
Correct.
That also can relate.
Yeah, menorrhagia is pretty common in hypothyroidism, I believe, right? Like the excessive menstruation.
Yes.
And very frequent. So ideally, the cycle should be 28 days.
Yes.
But in hypothyroidism, it is been observed that it will be like every 15 days, and then it will stay for 5 to 8 days.
Yes.
So the girl, and these are young girls, right? You know, when it is diagnosed, and these girls, those who are going to college and probably like much younger, and that too they are you know, they are having periods for like 7 to 8 days, and they have to live, and it's affects their quality of life. Now imagine you have to wear the sanitary pads for 8 to 10 days, you know, and that's very, very irritating, right? Like all the rash and everything what they have to. And though hypothyroidism, you know, the symptoms and but it's like, you know, it's something which is generic. You know, everybody will say that okay, fatigue is there. You know, it's not something that you know, it's not a classic symptom that we need to worry about. But then it affects the quality of life. You know, you are not performing great in your school. You know, you are always irritated, and that affects their school performance. That affects their probably in college, affects their studies. And that's where you know, early diagnosis, finding out. So what's the common age that your patients are coming to you? What's most common age?
Especially in their 20s.
Okay.
20s and early 30s also. Okay. And post-pregnancy, hypothyroidism is also common.
Correct.
Okay. It triggers after pregnancy because there is obesity and you have not been taken care throughout the pregnancy. Again, everywhere nutrition plays a very important role. So if you have not taken care during your pregnancy, you are getting a lot of fat, which is not required at some cases, okay? Because you, in some cases, means you are already overweight.
Correct.
You are overweight, you got pregnant, you are not even you know, worried about your being overweight, and later on you are putting on another 10 to 15 kgs, which is not a recommended you know,
healthy weight
limits. So if you are an overweight person, the recommended limit for you know, to gain weight throughout the pregnancy is 8 to 10 kgs. If you are obese person, it is only 8 kgs. And if you are a normal BMI person, then it is around 10 to 14 kgs of weight you should be gaining. But here, no one understands this. Once they got pregnant, they are eating for 2, and throughout the period, they are putting lots of fats in their body. And after pregnancy, they are getting hypothyroidism and diabetes. These two things are very common.
Correct. Yes. So nutritionally, so of course, if it is hypothyroidism, doctors will ask you to take you know, the supplementation with hormones. Nutritionally, how it is managed, and according to you, how much of the percentage of weightage should be given to the nutritional changes in your life compared to only the medication? How important is nutrition in hypothyroidism?
So medication is extremely important. First of all, I can't deny the role of medication over here. Okay, so we have to understand each and every individual is different, and their condition is different. So whatever the data is telling you that you can reverse, first of all, I have to give credit to the medication. I'm someone who is scientific driven and evidence-based driven. So your nutrition cannot replace medicines. That fact has to be there. Okay. But secondary, how you are managing your symptoms, it is also important. Now, what is the medication? Medication means synthetic hormone you are taking. Okay. That synthetic hormone has to do the same function as your normal hormone. Right? So naturally, your body is producing thyroid hormone, and the same hormone you are taking through the medications if you are a hypothyroidic case. Now, in this case, to work that hormone for you, you require good nutrition, because thyroid hormone, your thyroid health is totally dependent on what you eat. Okay, it requires nutrients to work properly. So that's why thyroidism is very much you know, been controlled by the nutritional values and how you are taking care of your health and lifestyle.
Okay. So what are the good nutrients for for hypothyroidism that we need to focus on. Having said that, there are many diets that will actually aggravate your hypothyroidism. So what's bad, let's talk first, and then we'll go to what's good, how you're prescribing and how you are giving the meal plan and everything we'll discuss. So what's bad for hypothyroidism?
Okay. So bad in the sense, I would first start with the something which is interfering your thyroid gland functions.
Correct.
Okay. It is not bad at all, but it is, you have to eat in a certain way.
Correct.
So first in the list is cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables comes under the cucumber family vegetables. Okay. Cabbages. Okay. Cabbages family vegetables, so where there is a cabbages, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, radishes, beetroots. So these vegetables have one compound called glucosinolates. Glucosinolates has a goitrogenic nature.
Correct.
Okay, these goitrogens are interfering with your thyroid hormone functions.
Correct.
Okay, so what thyroid does? Thyroid has one function that it absorbs iodine from your body. Okay, and by using that iodine, it produces thyroid hormone. Okay, now what happens when you are having these compounds in your diet? Now they are getting interfering with the absorption of iodine, and now your body cannot produce thyroid hormone. That is where these cruciferous vegetables are harming you. But if you are eating them in a cooked form, okay, in well cooked form, in moderation. So two things are important: cooked form and moderation.
Okay.
So twice in a week, that is, we call it as a moderation. You can enjoy all these vegetables. Okay, that is the first thing. Second harmful compound which is present in your soya products. Okay, in soya also there are two types of soya in the market. One is fermented soya products and another is unfermented soya products. Now unfermented category you can find out soya milk, tofu, soya isolate protein powders are there in the market. Those are also harmful for your thyroid functioning. Why they are harmful? It contains isoflavones. Isoflavones, they restrict the functioning of your thyroid hormone. It goes there and it interferes the function. Again, what is the outcome? It is lowering your thyroid hormone production. But here the interesting part is that the fermented soya is very good. Okay, which you are getting from the tempeh. So Indian market we have tempeh nowadays. Very initial stage we are still, not like a Japanese culture, but tempeh is there. Miso, which is present in Japanese culture, that is also considered safe. Fermented soya. Yes, that's a fermented one. So these two options are considered safe. But yes, you can have even tofu and soya milk once in a while. Very moderation. But people don't understand. We said completely restrict. Next compound which is very harmful, I would say you can restrict that totally, which is refined carbohydrates and sugary drinks and sugar. Okay, why is it so? Because these compounds and this foods category gives you nothing. Okay, it's a lots of inflammation it creates in your body, and especially for the thyroid conditions like autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's and Graves' disease. So you have to take care of your inflammatory conditions here. So sugar and refined carbs you should be avoiding. So these are three foods we should be avoiding, and especially the cruciferous vegetable you can have it in moderation. Yes.
See, I understood that what we should not have. What are the foods we should avoid, or at least in limitation, if you are absolute restrictions, right? Now let's move to something which is like what diet we should have if you are diagnosed with hypothyroidism or living with hypothyroidism. Now, years back, we used to have this iodine wala namak ad, right? Nowadays, I don't see. And now we promote all the Himalayan salt and pink salt and everything, and we don't talk about iodized namak. So iodine is the first thing that we talk when we study hypothyroidism and nutrition. So shall we start with iodine?
Sure.
Yes. So how iodine helps, and what are the iodine-rich diets, or how do you ask your patients to include iodine in their diet? And what about the pink salt?
Okay. So here I would like to start with the thyroid gland.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. thyroid gland is a small butterfly shaped gland in your neck.
Correct.
Okay. What is the work of thyroid? That it controls your metabolism. And to controlling that metabolism, it produces thyroid hormone with the help of iodine, which is there in your diet.
Correct.
Okay. Your body cannot produce iodine. You have to dependent on the external source, which is we are getting from the iodized salt.
Correct.
Now, iodized salt was not there earlier in the Indian diet. Okay. The sources of iodine is mostly the seafood, okay, which we vegetarians, we don't eat seafood, and seaweed. Seaweed is not very common in India.
Correct.
So we are totally dependent on the only sea salt, which is nowadays fortified by the government.
Correct.
Okay, in the 80s, it is being fortified, and nowadays many other cereals also getting fortified with the iodine.
Correct.
So we are getting enough amount of iodine from our diet. Okay, so this iodine plays a very important role in the thyroid hormone production.
Correct.
Your thyroid gland absorbs iodine and it produces T3 and T4. Okay. Now this T3 and T4 is nothing but your thyroid hormone. Collectively they work for you. So to functionally better thyroid functions, you need iodine in correct amount.
Correct.
Too much is not good. Too less is not also sufficient for you. 150 micrograms of iodine you will be needing for better thyroid functions and throughout the day. If you are an adult, for children it is a bit lesser, and for pregnant women it is even higher.
Correct.
The demand is higher because your babies also need iodine for the mental growth and brain functions, everything.
Correct.
So for pregnant women it is around 220 micrograms per day, and for adults it is 150 micrograms, which we can get it through 3 to 4 grams of salt.
Okay.
And that's enough.
Okay.
Yes. So we don't need any special supplementation for this. We don't need until and unless you are diagnosed with iodine deficiency. And that too with the help of doctors, it is being recommended.
Correct.
If too much of salt you are consuming just by knowing that iodine is a great source of, where you have to have it to function your thyroid hormone better. If you consume it a more amount, it will harm you. It will lead to the Hashimoto's. Okay. Similarly, Graves' disease. So these are the two autoimmune conditions where too much of iodine intake can lead to these conditions.
Okay.
So that's why we are avoiding too much, and we also want it to be in a proper range.
Okay, so 3 to 4 grams
3 to 4 grams
is
of
enough
salt.
for
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And if I'm taking pink salt, then is it iodized?
Pink salt in the Indian market, it should be written clearly on the labels. Okay. It should. If it is not written, that means it is not iodized. Okay. The fortification happens only for the normal salts, and there are very few brands which are fortifying pink salt or Himalayan salt. So, very good question, Dr. Smitha, here, because nowadays there is a very big trend is going on that everyone wants to replace their normal salt with a pink salt or Himalayan salt or very expensive salts which are available in the market. But first of all, if you are a hypothyroidic case, you have to check this. Okay, it is clearly mentioned. If it is not mentioned, that means it is lacking iodine. So maybe you're not getting your dose.
Correct. You have to check your labels.
Yes. Okay. Then maybe that simple normal salt is good for you rather than Himalayan or Senta Namak. Yeah.
Okay. So iodine is the thing we should be talking in hypothyroidism. What's the next thing that we should talk?
Next thing is selenium.
Selenium
is protecting your thyroid gland. Selenium plays a very important role for T4 to T3, which is an active form of thyroid hormone. In that process, selenium is used up and it is facilitating that process from T4 to T3. Okay, so until it is getting converted into T3, your body is not having the active form of thyroid.
Correct.
Okay, so selenium is doing that for you. So it's nothing but a mineral which you are getting from different sources. Similarly, selenium is protecting your thyroid glands from the inflammation. So if you have a Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, you have to, take care of selenium levels in your body.
Okay.
The best sources of selenium is from the animal sources, seafood. Okay. If you are a vegetarian, you can go for sunflower seeds.
Okay.
Especially for plant-based sources, we have Brazil nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, Brazil nuts is the best source. Till so far, it is considered as the best source of selenium.
Correct.
So 1 to 2 pieces of Brazil nut, if you are including, you can fulfill the daily requirement of selenium in your body.
Okay.
Yes.
It's pretty
Yeah.
large nut,
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty large. Too much is, again, we
Yes.
don't want too
Yeah,
much.
got this,
It can create toxicity in your body. So 1 to 2, max 2. Okay. So you can consume and you don't have to worry about your selenium levels.
Brazilian nut I eat almost every day. Not for the thyroid or selenium related thing.
Yes.
It's a great hack for decreasing your sugar craving. Okay, and there's one study published. So I take a Brazilian nut every morning. That's my ritual. Good level of selenium will not have sugar cravings.
Yes.
Okay, and you take like 3 to 6 months almost for a regular consumption to not have that thing. But I personally have zero sugar cravings. You know, and I've seen that, and I've asked many people to start adding this into your, you know, if you have like pumpkin nuts or sunflower nuts and everything.
Seeds.
So in that you can add Brazilian nut as well. Pecan nut is also good, but it definitely works.
Yes.
What are the other sources? Sources of selenium you talked about. It's all the meat, right? And for vegetarians, sunflower seeds and Brazilian nut is
yes, and seafood.
Seafood. Okay.
Yes. And even eggs is a moderate source of selenium.
Correct.
You can include as a day-to-day, diet. So you'll get some amount of selenium through eggs also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next nutrient is zinc. Zinc is also doing the same function as selenium.
Correct.
Okay. It is also facilitating the conversion from T4 to T3. Another function which is very interesting function of zinc is that it is helping you to produce TSH. Okay. TSH, which is a thyroid stimulating hormone, which is required for your thyroid gland, and this is a command coming from your brain. So TSH is coming from your brain, telling you that you have to produce T3 and T4.
Correct.
So that production, TSH production, is boosted by zinc.
Okay.
Yes. So this is very interesting role of zinc which is playing, and it is also anti-inflammatory and other works of the zinc in our body. Base sources are chickpeas. Okay. For vegetarians, chickpeas, lentils. Similarly, they can include seafood, shrimps. Okay, oyster, shrimps, especially salmon. Okay, that is also a good source, and you can also include the pumpkin seeds. Okay. Yes, pumpkin seed is a great source. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so we talked about iodine, selenium, and zinc. Okay, what are the other essential nutrients that are there?
The other nutrients, I would say the vitamins.
Correct.
Okay, vitamin D. Vitamin D is very crucial. It has been seen that most of the hypothyroidic cases are deficient in vitamin D. Okay, so we have to take care of the vitamin D levels also. It is supporting your immunity system, especially the autoimmune conditions. Okay, Graves' disease and Hashimoto's. So vitamin D, if you are lacking, as we know, our sun exposure has gone down. So get some sun exposure. Along with that, you can support with the supplementation. Take help of your doctors to get supplemented, and it will be better.
Okay.
Yeah. The next nutrient I would like to add is iron also. Okay. It's very important because most of the Indian women are deficient in iron. Okay. So iron helps you, especially when your thyroid gland is sluggish. It activates your thyroid. So iron sources also you need to consider adding. Something like rajma, which is beans. You can add that in your day-to-day life. Then spinach is good source of iron. Red meat, for non-vegetarians there are so many sources: chicken, red meat, and the whole entire diet, which is around rich nutrients like green leafy vegetable or something like fresh looking vegetables, colorful vegetables. So it will help you to boost your iron intake. Yeah.
like if you open Instagram, maximum information you'll see is about nutrition, right? Like everybody is speaking about ye khao, wo khao, and all the fats and trends and everything. Which was the most non-scientific thing that you have seen it on Instagram? There are many people, those who are speaking everything, right? Which one you think is something that it was shocking for you? Or what do you think that what they should be covering, like what kind of a nutrition we are speaking about? But what was the thing that usually are the myth that people they think that is about hypothyroidism and nutrition, which is not true?
So on Instagram, a ton of information is there on Instagram and other social media platforms. The most shocking content which I feel, especially about the thyroid, is those fat cutter drinks, detox drinks. They are making such a big claims about those drinks that I feel it shouldn't pass that message to the mass population, where people don't have idea about how the cellular processes happens in the body and what exactly the condition you are going through. It's such a complex disorder, where one hormone is dependent on another, where everything is lined up in such a way that one single thing cannot help you. Something like dhania water or coriander seeds water, something like this detox drink, that detox drink. So I don't like that kind of content where it is misleading. It makes you trusting on those content where you are actually ignoring the real things.
Correct.
So that is something which is really misleading. So when I make a nutrition plan for my hypothyroidic cases, I always tell them, see, these waters are definitely helping you for better digestion. Maybe some other symptoms you will get benefited from, but this is not a cure for your situation.
Correct.
You have to first of all understand this. And the reversal thing, that is also a very big claim. Reversal. Have this and your thyroid will be reversed. Have this, include this, your diabetes will get reversed.
Correct.
So this is really extremely big claims they are making. Reversal is something which is not even doctor's hand, right? When you are having the medication, you are having the lifestyle changes, again everything is falling for you. If you are into the initial phase of thyroidism, where the small little disturbances happen due to the nutritional deficiencies, due to the stress levels, due to the inflammatory conditions, then might be small little changes if you made, then it will help you. But for longer run, if you are talking about the reversal for someone, it is a very big claim. So I feel the information should be scientific, first of all. Who is talking about that is also very important. Correct. The credentials,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
If the doctor is talking, if a certified clinical nutritionist is talking, dietitian is talking, then might be you can consider. But if any blogger is talking, any influencer who is trying to sell something, then you have to ask question to yourself.
You have to ask yourself.
Right. And similarly, there are few points where I would like to mention. If you are further you want to learn about that condition, you can check the source of the information also. Now, American Thyroid Association is one of the very authorized association which you can rely on their information. PubMed, something like, right? PubMed also you can rely on. NIH is also there. So this authority have done researches in that field. So you can rely on the source of the information also. So these are some pointers which you keep in mind before going through any content online.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So whenever the patient is visiting you with hypothyroidism, what kind of a meal plan you suggest them, or what lifestyle changes do you suggest them?
With hypothyroidism, first of all, we have to check their deficiencies. Okay. So right now, the doctors, they are not asking them to check the mineral deficiency, especially the selenium, zinc and all.
Correct.
So we have to ask the questions to the patient. If they have muscle cramps and some other issues like migraine or something which is indicating me that this person might be having some deficiencies around minerals. So this gives me strong idea about their deficiencies. Okay, after getting to know from their lifestyle and everything, I decide that okay, I have to give them a balanced diet which is having sources of zinc, selenium, iron, similarly iodine rich meals. I'll ask them to include them first of all. Second thing, I make sure that they will be adding good amount of protein. Now, what is good for them? First of all, the Indian diet is lacking protein. All of us know, and there we are struggling a lot. Now, someone who is really not having protein throughout the day, they are just dependent on their dal as a source of protein, which is not a source, which is not a lean source, right? So I'm asking them to improve their protein intake slowly rather than jumping on the 1 gram of protein per their body weight, which is a very high number. Suppose a person is 70 kgs and he approached me with a hypothyroidism. I got to know he or she is not even fulfilling his requirement for the daily protein requirement, which is mostly around 20 grams. Within 20 grams, they are eating every single day. So my idea is to start at least 0.8 grams of their body weight. Okay, so we are asking them to start eating whole meals where the lean sources of protein has been added. So now what are the sources which are good for the hypothyroidic patients? So here I ask them, if the patient is vegetarian, I ask them to go for low fat paneer, which is a good source. Okay, another, if they can allow to have eggs, they can include eggs as another good source of protein. And if they are non-vegetarian, of course they can enjoy their chicken or fish, whatever, which is again the minerals are coming from the seafood, so it is also very beneficial for them. So I'm guiding them, see, for hormone regulation you should be eating the good amount of protein. So that is my next step. Then fiber. Now it has been seen that somewhere hypothyroidism or any other sort of disorder of thyroid gland is happening due to the fluctuating blood sugar levels. Okay, so for that we have to make the meals balance. So first thing which I'm adding is protein, and I'm also taking care of the fiber. So why fiber is important? It helps you keep your sugar levels in a controlled way. So the consistency will be maintained. There won't be crashes of blood sugar levels. So good amount of fiber I'm also adding. So that is coming from the different sources of grains. A few vegetables are also good source of fiber, like sweet potatoes and other sources like chia seeds. Flax seeds is also great source, which is also giving you omegas, okay, which is also helping you for the thyroid health. So after doing with the fiber, I'm coming to the fats. Now the fats, you have to incorporate healthy fats over here. Healthy fats, for example, avocado, olive oil. I know it is quite expensive to say this, but these are the good sources. Along with that, few other sources which are available in India is flax seeds, okay, chia seeds. They are adding you omegas, and these omegas are anti-inflammatory. It has lots of antioxidants, which helps and protects your thyroid gland. So this is the way I plan their meals, which is catering their deficiencies and a balance of protein, fats and fiber. And along with that, I tell them how your carbohydrate portion should be there, because the carbohydrates making them their sugar levels spike. So I ask them to go for a complex one, complex carbohydrate, which is a wholesome wheat, okay, wholesome sources of grains, something like wheat or millets. In millets also, I would like to add one very interesting point here. In millets, there are few millets which are having goitrogens. Okay, pearl millet, which is bajra, and jowar. They are rich in goitrogens. Okay, they are goitrogenic. So I ask my patient to rather go for bajra or jowar, go for ragi. Okay. If you are having it every single day. Okay. But you can enjoy once in a while in moderation for bajra and jowar. But the rest of the millets, which is kodo millet, proso millet is there, ragi is there, quinoa is there, they can safely have that.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
it's very interesting to know. But then this complex carbohydrates is helping them to control their blood sugar levels, and that way their thyroid hormone works wonderful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are the other, apart from the diet and nutrition, what are the other lifestyle changes you suggest people to
Yes.
incorporate in their life?
So the first problem what we have seen is the inflammation which is causing all these problems of thyroid disorder, right? So we want them to try the low impact exercises, something like yoga, pilates, okay, and strength training, weekly thrice strength training with low weights. They can go for, and each and every day they have to do some pranayama or some breath work to reduce their stress levels, because ultimately we as a holistic health coach, we looked into this problem as holistically, rather than just nutrition is separate or mind is separate. I looked our body as a whole entity,
Whole system.
yeah, whole system from head to toe. Okay, whatever, even your thoughts making your thyroid anxious. Yes, so you have to take care of your stress levels, you have to take care of your breath work. If you deep breathe every single day, that also helps you.
Helps.
So this is a harmony which have to take care of every single thing. So that way I work. And I ask, these are the small little changes. If you make it and if you do it for consistently, then it will give you compounding effect.
Okay.
Yes, I always use this word compounding. And most of the people nowadays, they know about this term. Compounding means small little savings you are doing and you're getting big results. So my way of dealing patients is more of holistic, and I always focus on sustainability rather than the shortcuts and the small where you are asking person to make a big change. No, when you are asking them to do for big changes, they would not accept.
Okay.
Small little changes which are fitting into your current lifestyle, they makes you go for longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more sustainable
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And you have written 2 books on the similar topic.
Yes.
Tell me a little more about your books.
I wrote How to Master Your Weight Loss. That is one book which is talking about a psychology of weight loss.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is focusing more on the psychology part rather than what to eat and what not to eat. First of all, what small mistakes you do when you are trying to lose weight. What do? You get a fractions of information from this source, that source, and you are putting together. Now you are telling that individual got weight loss. Now I'll be trying the same. Maybe I'll also gain. And people are completely ignoring this is a science. This is a science. Each nutrient is coming from the chemical. Each and everything. Even your water is also chemical. Okay? But they don't understand this and they keep on trying the random things. So in that process, what happens? They miss out the beauty of this process. They do the drastic changes and after certain point, they don't get results. They leave that process and always believe that weight loss is not working for them. So whenever they are approaching to any nutritionist or dietitian, they are telling, it never worked for me. Now that is your mindset because you tried many random things. When you are doing the right, correct things for longer period of time, you'll get definitely better results.
Okay.
So this is what not happening. So I talked about a lot about the psychology around the weight loss things. Yeah. So
what's your second book?
Second book is about meal planning for busy professionals.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So that book is very close to my experiences. So my life experiences is I stayed abroad, so where I was struggling for each and everything, small little things to manage my meals. So it is more of talking about how you can plan your meals, because when you are not planning your meals, it is not coming to your plate. If you're not buying the grocery, how come you can talk about the healthy things, right? So start from the grocery making list to how that small little things you can make it in an affordable way. That I wrote in that book.
Okay.
And small little things which can save your money, time, and even efforts. And that hustle of mom's hustle, what I always say, that I wrote it just like, it's like my personal experiences I put it in. So it is helpful because after dealing with more than 1,000 individuals, the one single complaint I used to get is we don't have time for healthy meals. So I said, if you plan on Sundays, on each and every Sunday, if you're planning, you will save a lot of money. So they says healthy things are expensive. No doubt they are expensive. But if you plan in a certain way, then you are mastering your own kitchen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I wrote it in beautiful manner and people are really loving. They are already started implementing those strategies and they are saving a lot of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
and money as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And both the books are available on your Instagram. I have seen the links there.
Yes, it is available. You can buy the copies. You can directly buy the copy, and one book is Mastering Weight Loss is available on Kindle as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Okay, wonderful. Before we close this discussion about hypothyroidism, like probably I've learned so much about the nutrition today. Key points is like millet related what information I was absolutely not aware of that. Whatever we talked about, iodine, sources of iodine, how to check your labels, these are very practical tips, and we miss out by day-to-day basis. If we look at like it's very easy to miss out these smaller components, but plays so much important role in managing hypothyroidism. People like me, even if I'm MBBS MD, we never study nutrition. We start studying it when it is required for us to implement. Can you tell me some interesting stories about your patients that you have treated and anything that is something our audience should actually, they'll be able to find it relevant? So any of the stories that you can share?
So let me start with the story of Hashimoto's,
Okay.
as it is very close to your experience. So one of our patient, she was suffering from Hashimoto's from last few years. She approached me with symptoms. Though she was on the medications, it was not helping her. No doubt, sometimes I feel that people don't take care of their lifestyle. It is the biggest contributor. Okay, everything they are totally dependent on the medication, which is not going to help them. So first I counsel her. I checked her deficiencies. I also asked her to get it done some blood test. Okay, and with the help of doctors, we started few supplementation for her. So in her journey of losing weight as well as helping her to reduce her inflammation, especially on the feet and face, she was always swollen.
Okay.
From last 13-14 years, she was suffering from that. Then I checked her deficiencies were there definitely. Then I checked her lifestyle. First of all, I made few changes in her diet. Is that I asked her to incorporate more selenium, zinc rich and iron rich food along with the omegas. So omega was missing in her diet because she was vegetarian and she never had any seafood. So we don't get omega 3 especially ADA and DHA in good amount when you are a vegetarian. And that's a sad reality. Even if the flax seeds and chia seeds is not giving you that amount which is required for you your RDA value to fulfill. So I asked her to start fish oil, and that has helped her magically because it reduced her inflammation. Okay, next component we added few supplementation for magnesium and zinc, which also helped her in her migraines and inflammatory conditions. Along with that, I asked her to choose some lean sources of protein. She was not knowing what is lean and what is because she was all the time dependent on the grains and lentils and sprouts for the protein intake. We also incorporate plant-based protein for her, and because she was having inflammatory condition and lactose intolerance, we incorporated a plant-based which is suitable for her condition, and that way we balance her protein intake also. Then fiber, then other sources, as I said, goitrogens we avoided. And a balanced approach of diet along with the exercises part, which she never used to do. Now her case, she was very beginner For exercises, I just gave her small rotational exercises, flexibility exercises, and walking. Just by doing walk for 5,000 to 6,000 steps, she has reduced 60 to 70% of her inflammation.
Beautiful.
Yes. So walking is the best anti-inflammatory pill. I always say it's a pill. Okay. So if you are walking, your feet, if you have a swollen feet, just walk. Okay. And slowly improve your pace. And you can go up to 10,000 steps also. It works wonderfully. But yes, if you can do strength training, if you don't have any other joint related issue, that will be wonderful. So this is one of the very successful story. She lost weight. Initially she was having that in mind that with autoimmune condition, thyroid condition, I could never lose weight. But she had lost weight as well as she got to know that how to take care of this condition for lifetime, which is a very important thing. I always tell all of my patients one thing, that learn from me how to take care of your condition first. Weight loss is secondary thing.
Correct.
It will happen for sure. But first of all, learn with this condition, whether it is PCOD, PCOS, diabetes, thyroid, learn from me what is your requirement, what your body is craving for, nourish those cravings, and you will be fine with this condition. Yeah.
So assume that people, those who are listening to us, okay, if they want to reach out to you, do you only walk-in consultations, or do you also do online consultations, and how to reach out to you?
So if you are Pune based, you can meet me in Kharadi. I have a clinic. And if you are from other parts of the India, you can reach me from my online platforms. I have my website by nutrieatwithVrushali.com, and nutrieatwithVrushali is my Instagram page. You can connect me. We have a team. We can take care of you. The initial consultation we take care through the Zoom meeting, and the required things I will let you know. Once you DM me, I will definitely help you out.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for explaining me. I was sitting like a patient today and it's like a free consultation for me today. But regarding diet, like I do have hypothyroidism. I live with it. But I've learned so much, as a person. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smitha. It was really insightful communication. I learned a lot from you as well, because I always feel this is the best platform where you can educate people. Yes. And that's what I'm doing from my Instagram. You can check it out. There is a lot of content on the nutrition and specific conditions like thyroid also. A lot. And you can trust my content because it's a science driven.
Yes.
The sources are authentic. You can check it out, and looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Great time.